Hello collectors and welcome to my review of the Figma Eren Yeager. Eren comes from Attack on Titan and he is one of 3 available Figma releases from the series. Let's take a look and see whether or not he's worth adding into your collection. As expected for a Figma, Eren's sculpt and paint are actually very, very nice. However, there are a few issues which need to be brought up. But from pretty much all angles, as you could see, the issues aren't too bad because he really looks great. And really, I can't think of any major complaints. The main issue which needs to be addressed, however, is that the arms and the jacket, the paint, they don't match, which this was also found in Mikasa, and I believe it was found in Armin. But this is because of the material that's used for the jacket and for the arms. They're different, so the color is going to be different. But you think that they would maybe alter the paint a little bit for the arms, so that way they would match the jacket. However, the back symbol, and even the symbols on the shoulders, as you can see here, they look absolutely crisp and clean. And on the legs, the thighs specifically, there's no real paint slop on the belts. But as you get down a little bit more, it looks like some of the lines aren't necessarily on the actual sculpt. Not a major issue for me though. Looking at his torso, again the paint is pretty much clean. No real issues to talk about. The silver on the main belt buckle on mine though, as you can see here, I'm trying to get the camera to focus and play nice with it. It's just a tad bit sloppy though. Also, as you can faintly make out on the camera here, there are 2 air bubbles which I found here that got into the final product. Not very good. The overall detailing, as you can clearly see on Eren, is very nice though. The belts on the thighs are actually all sculpted in. The little buttons up here on the jacket, those are sculpted in too. The pockets are nice and clean. So really, some of the faults that Eren has, you know what? They're a bit forgivable for something that looks this nice. Eren is also highly articulated, which should come as a surprise to no one. To begin, his head is on a swivel and a ball joint on the inside for the actual neck, and the base of the neck is on a ball joint too, so you have lots of range of movement there. The shoulders are on an actual hinge that goes on the inside here, but on the inside of the actual body itself, it's on a ball joint, so you have a lot of range of movement there. The elbows are on a hinge joint, as you can see here. They move back and forth, but they can also swivel, where they connect into the parts of the arm. The hands are actually attached on a peg, and they use a swivel hinge combo for the actual wrist. Sort of like a figure arts, so if you're familiar with those, you should be very familiar with how to move the wrists of Eren. The ab crunch is on a ball joint, which has a lot of range of movement. I was very surprised by. It's very nice to see this improvement over Mikasa. And the actual torso itself is actually attached at the midsection of Eren on a ball joint. The thighs are attached to the hips on a ball joint, so you have a lot of movement there, which really isn't restricted. And there is an actual thigh swivel found on both thighs itself. And you can see that mine is sort of coming apart on the left hip. There. The knees are on the same sort of joint the elbows are on, so you have the moving back and forth, and there's also a little bit of swivel action, but the boots actually block that. And the ankles are also the same sort of joint found in the knee and elbow. So the feet can move forward and back, and they also have a little bit of rocking motion. And finally, the toes are on a hinge. So as you can see, Eren is very highly articulated. If you can think of a pose, chances are you can pull it off. If you're an accessory buff like me, you'll be pleased to know that Eren comes with everything you could pretty much need for a Figma. So to begin, Eren comes with these different hand parts. You have hands to hold the blades, and then you have just your generic splayed out hands. And he also comes with the fists, as you've seen throughout this video review. Changing the hands is also very easy to do. All you have to do is just simply grab the hand, pull it off, and you get this peg here that the hand goes on, and then all you do is line it up, attach the other hand. Voila! Eren also comes with these 2 different face parts, and changing them is very, very easy. To swap the different faces, you just first pull the front hairpiece off, remove the face, attach a new one, like so, and then put the hair back. Next up is all the equipment that comes with the 3D maneuver gear, and you get the blades that also come with them. You get 2, and the blades are also removable. So if you just want this little handle part here, you can display him with that. Making Eren actually hold a blade is pretty easy to do too. All you do is you just simply slide the handle into the hand, like so, and then just gently rotate it so that way the fingers go into the trigger parts. Like that. Next up, the 3D maneuver gear, and as you can see, wow, it's detailed. And it's pretty hefty too. See all the small detailings and the cords that are on the inside here. At least that's what they're supposed to represent. And you can see all the attachment parts. And here is where they attach onto the thighs. And they're on a little ball joint. Mine are very tight, and they don't like to move or play nice. But as you can see, the little peg is moving there. So, how do you attach this thing? To begin setting up the 3D maneuver gear, I like to get all the small cables out of the way. So what I like to do first is attach the cables that go into the blades. Just like so. There are 2 of them. They go into each one, each blade, like so. Yes. Then there are 2 holes on Eren's back, a top one and a bottom one. This part here goes into the bottom hole. Then, as you can see here, there are holes in Eren's thighs. There are little pegs on the 3D maneuver gear as I showed earlier. That's where they go. Mine, like I said, are feisty and they don't exactly like to play nice. So maybe it might be the same for you. And this one just absolutely refuses to go in for me. Well, doesn't like to go in well. But once they do go in, yeah, there he is. Eren with a 3D maneuver gear on. But wait, that's not all. If you're familiar with the source material, which you probably should be, you'll know that the 3D maneuver gear shoots out those cables with the anchors on them, so this way the characters in the show can move around. And you get a few different ways to display this with the Figma. So the first, as you can see here, is the fixed cable. It's not too long. Tip isn't too detailed, but it is made of a somewhat bendy plastic, though I wouldn't bend it too much. And as you can see here, there's a hole where this plugs into. And all you do is just slide it in, like so. Even furthermore though, that isn't all for those fixed cable parts. But as you can see on Eren's left side there, there's a smoke part which you can attach. And here's a close-up look of it. It's not too detailed, but do note that there is one left part and there is one right part. So you really shouldn't get them confused. And you can tell which one is the left and which one is the right by the sculpt on the inside of where you attach it. But you shouldn't worry too much about attaching it because, well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is basically clip it on. And there you go. Now it actually looks somewhat expressive. Like I said earlier, there are different ways you can display Eren firing off his 3D maneuver gear, and one way is you can have this extra part that's made of this string for the cable, and it has this hook on it which can come undone, so this way you can combine it with a stage act or one of the Figma display stands. And attaching it is also very simple, just like the other cable. You get this peg here in which you plug into the 3D maneuver gear right at about the hip level. And this is giving me a little bit of a hard time. There we go. And there we go. And so with this, you can use it to actually dangle him off of real life stuff. Yes, I've seen many creative displays from Japanese users, so have fun with it. Though I do suggest that if your 3D maneuver gear is as loose as mine is on Eren, be a little bit conservative with how you display him, if you should display him with this. Also, to go along with the cords and cables and whatnot, you get this extra set here. I'm not exactly sure how you use it because I'm looking at it and it doesn't necessarily look like it connects to anything, but I'm guessing it's just a replacement part should the other cable snap. Moving right along, one of the last accessories that Eren comes with is the cloak. As you can see here, pretty basic, the same one that comes with Mikasa. Detailing and the emblems are all there. And if you have Mikasa, you should already be used to attaching it. But for those of you who aren't, And attaching the cloak, cape, what have you, is relatively easy. See, you get the cloak here, and you'll notice that there's this little tab. And you get this plug that comes alongside with it. And what you do is you just line it up like so, to begin, because this next part is pretty difficult depending on how patient you are. And you basically just slide it down all the way until it lines up with the hole in Eren's back. And then you just kind of push it in. Yeah, as you can see, it's not exactly the most easy task there is. It's actually very difficult for me. There we go. You got to push on it really hard. And then put the head back in. Voila! It's wearing his cloak. And finally, Eren comes with a few different ways that you can actually support him in the air. First, you have the basic Figma stand, which comes with the arm, as you should probably be aware. And it also comes with this little angled tip, which you can put in. Personally, I find this one very difficult to use in display with Eren. But, you know, if you want it, you can use it. But anyway, the plug on the arm just goes into the top hole on Eren's back. And just really quick to show you what he looks like in the air. No thought really put into the pose. There we go. There's also one other piece that he comes with. On the back of the 3D maneuver gear, there is this little tab here. And you can, if you work it, pull it off. And the reason for this is he comes with a smoke effect part that you just plug into the back, like so. Then you plug the arm of the Figma stand into the back of it. And as you can see here, you can make different poses with him in the air. So overall, the accessories that he comes with, they're pretty great, but the 3D maneuver gear on my Eren is pretty jacked up. As a matter of fact, it broke during this review process. Yes, I'm sure you saw it a little bit here in some of the later parts, but this back part here, yeah, it came right off. Yeah, like that. So I'm going to have to figure out what I can do with that. So the accessories, they're good, but the 3D maneuver gear on my specific Eren is a little bit jacked up. The 3D maneuver gear for yours probably won't be as bad as mine, because I've heard reports from other people who have said that they've had no problems at all. Might just be a lame duck for mine. Exactly how big is Eren? Well, here he is alongside some choice SH Monster Arts releases. Here he stands in the middle between two SH Figu Arts. And finally, side by side with Mikasa. So, as you can see, Eren is about, average human action figure height. Not too big, not too small. So, should you buy Eren now, wait for a sale, or maybe skip on him entirely? Eren's detailing is overall fantastic, and given the overall value of the figure, a lot of these drawbacks can actually be forgiven. Eren's articulation is fantastic, so really when moving him around, you can get a lot of poses out of him, which that really bumps up the value of this figure overall. As I made mention before in the accessories section, the accessories Eren comes with are pretty great, but the 3D maneuver gear on mine, it's loose and stuff broke on it, so I'm not too happy with that. But overall, the accessories, they're pretty great for the price point. Overall, though, I do recommend Eren to those who enjoy the source material. Really, you can't go wrong with this Figma.